Hello, welcome back to Resource Rundown, the channel where we cut through the noise and we're giving you the tools, the strategies, and the real talk you need to work smarter using AI. I'm Nicole, and today we're getting into something that I get asked about often. People are using AI every single day, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and they keep getting frustrated with the results. And that is because the output is generic. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't do what they ask. And the assumption is that the tool is the problem. But here's the truth. Most of the time, it's not the tool, it's the prompt. And today, I'm going to show you the 7 most common mistakes people make when they use AI. And more importantly, the exact fix. Notice, in this video, you're going to learn the exact fix. Yes. A lot of people are not showing you that for each one. These are practical copy paste fixes you can start using in your very next prompt. So let's get into it. All right. Before we get to the mistakes, let me give you some quick context so you understand why this actually matters. Research tells us that 77% of AI users get mediocre results on their very first attempt. Not because the AI is weak, but because the prompt is vague. Studies show a 10 times quality improvement when users simply add a role and a format to a basic prompt. Those are 2 small additions that cost you nothing. The number one cause of poor AI output is vagueness, not the model's capability. Let me repeat that. The number one cause of poor AI output is vagueness. So don't blame the model, okay? Expert AI users go through 3 to 5 rounds of refinement on average, and I'm telling you right now, this is what I do. Most beginners stop after 1 round and then they blame the tool. So if you ever thought, AI is useless, I want you to consider, what did your prompt actually look like? And this is why there's so many people that are teaching now, because it's clear. People are just, some, not all of course, are just not using the tool correctly. Okay, so here's your cheat sheet. 7 mistakes we're going to cover today. Being too vague, skipping context, accepting the first output, overloading one prompt, never assigning a role, trusting without verifying, not saving good prompts. Each one of these, I'm going to give you an example, a better approach, and a copy-paste prompt template. So let's go. All right, mistake number 1. Being too vague. Let's kick things off right now with this one mistake. I'm willing to bet that this is what's happening with some of you all. You walk up to these tools and you say something like, write me a blog post about AI. That's it. No audience, no length, no angle, no tone. And then, I'm shocked. This output is generic. It's unusable. Here's the thing. AI is not a mind reader. It's a pattern matching tool. Okay? It's a pattern matching tool. When you give it nothing to work with, it fills in every blank with the most average answer it can find. That's why your output sounds like it was written by a committee of robots in 1998. The fix is simple. Give it 4 things. Who is this for? How long should it be? What's the specific purpose? And what tone do you want? Let me slow that down for some folks. You're going to fix these prompts going forward. Tell the tool, who is this for? How long should it be? What's the specific purpose? And what tone do you want? These 4 additions alone will transform your results. So, as you can see, this is what most people do. This is the better approach. All right. And as you can see down below, I give you a copy-paste template, right? So you literally can type that, and where the brackets are, that's where you plug in your specific information, okay? All right, mistake number 2. It's closely related, but it's a little different. And it trips up even people who've been using AI for a while. They give a task, but no context. AI doesn't know your industry, your audience, your brand voice, or your situation unless you tell it. So think about it this way. If you hired a new employee and you said, give me some email subject lines, they'd have to ask you a dozen questions before they could write anything useful. AI is the same. It needs context to collaborate, okay? Or calibrate, I'm sorry. Without it, you get generic output. So that doesn't sound like you and doesn't serve your audience. Every time you open a prompt, ask yourself 3 questions. Who is my audience? What platform or format is this for? And what specific outcome do I need? And then you're going to weave those answers right into your prompt. So there's an example right there on the screen for you. Okay, so you give me email subject lines? No, that's what most people do. The better approach, you want to be specific. For instance, this is something that I would put into the prompt. I run a faith-based newsletter for women 40 plus. I need you to write 5 email subject lines for a message about overcoming fear of change. And I might even be even more specific because a lot of times my prompts are paragraphs long, but I get my results. The tone is encouraging, not pushy. So there you have something to start out with, right? You can copy and you can paste that. Okay, now, mistake number 3. This one is huge. I say it lovingly. Stop hitting send on the first draft AI gives you. I know there are some very quick people that like to just press a button real quick. Okay, experts don't do that. They iterate. The first output is a starting point, not the finish line. Studies show that expert AI users go through 3 to 5 rounds of refinement on average. Once again, beginners accept the first draft and then wonder why their content feels flat. The tool isn't failing you, okay? You're just stopping too early. The magic is in the follow-up prompts. After you get your first output, you ask yourself, what's not quite right here? Then tell it, make this shorter. The intro is too slow. Rewrite it to lead with a question. Add a real-world example for the second point. You're not rewriting it yourself. You're directing it. That's the skill, okay? That's the skill. So basically what people are doing is they're treating the tool like an assistant, okay? I know that it bothers some individuals because you're not ready to, direct a robot or a tool or that thing yet, but trust me, if you want to use the tool to its fullest, you've got to be able to direct it. Okay, so what most people do, it's the one prompt, accept whatever comes out. The better approach is use the output as a starting point. Follow up, make it shorter, add an example, rewrite the intro to be more direct. And once again, I've got the copy paste template for you to plug in your information. All right, now mistake number 4 is one I called grocery list problem. Okay, people throw everything into one prompt. They write my bio. They say something like, write my bio, create 10 social posts, draft an email campaign, suggest a content calendar, and review my website copy. Okay, now, when I was first using the tool, I was so excited, I did just that. And what did I get back? I got 10 mediocre things instead of 1 great one. So, needless to say, I was disappointed. I deleted, and then I walked away. That was about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, wow, oh my goodness, like 3 years ago at the time of this recording. So yeah, we don't do that. AI does the best work when it's focused. Okay, so when you pile too many tasks into a single prompt, attention gets split across all of them. The output quality drops across the board. It's the difference between asking one person to do one thing well versus asking them to multitask 10 things at once. So break your work into focused tasks. 1 deliverable per prompt. Think of it like a chain. Each output feeds the next. Start with write my professional bio in 3 sentences for LinkedIn. Then build from there. I know some of you may not want to do all of what I'm telling you, or you may do it, but you still don't like the results. That is where people pay me to come in and, hey, girl, you just take care of this tool because I ain't got time for all of this. And that's what I do. So what most people do, there's the example. right there on the screen. And once again, you can be able to copy and paste the template. All right, the next is that we are on mistake number 5. Okay. Now, this one sounds almost too simple, but the difference it makes is dramatic. Most people just jump straight into their requests. They don't tell AI who to be. And when you tell AI to become an expert, the quality of the output jumps immediately. This is called role prompting. And it works because AI has been trained on vast amounts of text from every type of person: doctors, coaches, marketers, executives, teachers. And this is why some people don't sound like what we think they should sound like. Okay, that's because they're basically giving AI a role. Okay, when you assign a role, you're essentially filtering the output through the lens of that expertise. Without it, you get generalist answers. With it, you get specialist thinking. So that's why for some individuals, you're like, since when you become a specialist? Well, right? They are saying things like what we're talking about in just a moment. Start your prompts with "you are a." So that one who didn't know anything about healthcare, now suddenly he knows a little something because he put something like, "You are a doctor," and then he proceeds to type in what he wants to find out about a relative. Okay, that's just an example. And you will describe the role as specifically as you can. So that's what some of these individuals are doing. Okay, it bothers some of us a bit, only because when you spend so much money and you spend so many years studying and all of this other stuff, and then somebody, shows up and they put in a few prompts and now they sound like all of those years of experience that you had to pay for, you had to grind, oh my goodness, yeah. So I understand why some people can't stand AI right now. Now, you're not just a marketer, for instance, right? But you're an experienced content strategist who specializes in helping faith-based nonprofits grow their email lists. Yes, prompts like this is what I used when I first started out. I was just like, wow, this is interesting. I want to see how far I can take this. And I mean, it was amazing. And the thing was that I knew that the output was correct because I had done these things in the real world. Now the danger is that people who they don't know anything about a subject matter, they don't know what is accurate, what is outdated, what is not a good strategy. You see what I'm saying? So it does still take skilled individuals to sift through, as some like to say, the AI slop. All right. The more specific the role, the more focused the output. So this is what most people do. Explain project management. Really? I mean, those people who know a thing or two, that's really broad. The better approach is you are an experienced executive coach. Explain the top 3 project management mistakes new managers make in plain English for someone just promoted to their first leadership role. This is key. When you put something like plainly tell me, plainly speak to me in plain English, teach me like I'm this age or that age, that's going to be closer to a person's conversation, the way they explain some things, the average Joe, as opposed to the average Joe saying something but not being specific. And now even the average Joe is like, what are all these words? And I don't really understand. And yes, it comes across too when you're talking, when you're presenting, when you are writing. This person really doesn't know, but they're trying to gain views. They're trying to put their name on a map. They're trying to present themselves as highly intelligent. They're trying too hard. They're doing too much. And so that's why it's just best to stick with where you are in terms of your education level, and this way you don't come across as fake. Okay? All right. So there is a copy paste for you on that slide. All right. Now this mistake, number 6, is critical, and I want you to hear me clearly. AI is confident even when it's wrong. It doesn't flag uncertainty. See, this is why I said there's a danger. Because if you don't know something about that topic, you are bound to say something or do something that's going to cause everybody to lose confidence in you. They're not going to want to trust you, and on and on. So it doesn't flag uncertainty the way a careful human writer does. It states things as fact, and sometimes those facts are outdated. Yes, yes, yes. There are cutoff dates to some of these tools, right? And so that's why you keep getting 2021 or 2023. But it's free, yeah, but it's outdated information. That's why I directed one individual to information that's newer. And I said, go to Gemini, okay? You want to go where the live updates are for that kind of information that you're seeking. But some people, if you just want general information, you're not worried about, something being outdated or whatever, okay, then stick with very simple, requests, but be specific, so that, and even ask, well, when did this information come out? Okay. So sometimes the facts are outdated, they're incomplete, or outright hallucinated. And I have seen that where I was like, I did not tell you that. I don't even know where you got that from. Okay. And even came up with false quotes. I'm like, no, that writer did not say that. Matter of fact, that's not even the writer's name. So you've got to watch for that. I've seen people post AI generated statistics directly to social media, put AI claims in client proposals, and cite AI source quotes from people who never said them. That's a trust problem waiting to happen. Your name is on everything you publish. The AI doesn't have a reputation to protect, but you do. Treat AI output like a first draft from an intern you haven't vetted yet. It might be brilliant. It might have errors. Your job is to be the editor. For anything factual, stats, dates, names, quotes, verify it independently. Google it. Find the primary source. If AI can't point you to a real source, treat the claim with extra caution. And just so you know, that many students have gotten into their share of issues because they did not check the information that was in their essays and research papers and discussions and so on and so forth. Okay. And there has actually been people getting divorces. I actually saw an article where an individual, she consulted with AI a bit much in her relationship, and it came down to, it's either me, the man said, or AI, and she chose AI. So most people they post AI generated stats directly to social media or use them in client reports without checking. But the better approach, after getting AI output, ask what source supports this, then verify independently. For important work, cite primary research, not AI summary of it. Notice, yes, yes, yes. That's why we take the time out in our doctoral studies, the cohort and myself, to read the research, you see. And they also test us to see if we're reading the research, because you can tell the difference between the summaries versus the specifics that show up within research. So mistake number 7, and the final mistake. We are here, yay! This one costs people hours every single week, and I want to say thank you so much for paying close attention to this resource rundown video. It's very important. If you haven't liked, subscribed, commented, please do, because I'm giving you all jam-packed information for a season before I take a break again. So this one costs people hours every single week, and it's not saving the prompts that work. Most people craft a great prompt once, Use it and then start from scratch the next time they need the same type of content. That's like rebuilding a recipe every time you want to cook the same meal. Your prompts are an asset. Every time you find a combination of role, context, format, and tone that produces great output, that's a template. It belongs in a library you can pull from. Some of my best prompts took me 30 minutes to develop. Now they take 30 seconds to run because I saved them. So you start a simple prompt library today, a Google Doc, a Notion page, a plain text file, whatever you'll actually use. Organize it by category: social media, email content, research, client work. Name each prompt clearly. This is your competitive advantage, and it compounds over time, right? So what most people do, they craft a great prompt once, use it, forget it, repeat the work next time. If you have a prompt library, right, and you've got it stored in any one of those places that we mentioned, you name them, you clearly reuse them, and you won't have so many different outputs each time. Okay, there you go. I gave you some secret sauce. Woo! People pay for this type of information. I just want you to know, okay? They pay for this type of information, and I'm giving this to you for free. But yeah, if you want me to do the work for you, though, yeah, you gotta pay me for that. All right, now, responsible AI use. Before we wrap up, I want to take just a minute on something important. We are to use AI responsibly, because being good at prompting isn't just about output quality. It's about doing this with integrity. So there's 4 things I want to carry with you. These are 4 things that at the time of this recording, over all of my coursework, it keeps coming up. Always verify facts. Okay? AI hallucinates. If it states a statistic, a name, or a date, check it. Never publish AI claims without verification. Number 2, protect private information. Don't paste confidential client data, passwords, or sensitive personal details into any AI tool. Number 3, edit before you publish. AI output is a draft. Your name goes on it. Make sure it sounds like you and meets your standards. And number 4, be transparent when it matters. In professional, academic, or public contexts, disclose when AI assisted in creating content. Using AI well means being a thoughtful, responsible editor, not just a fast copy-paste machine. Got it? Hope you got it. All right, 3 core prompt templates. If you take nothing else from today, save these 3 templates. They cover 80% of your AI use cases. Template number 1, role plus task plus format. Template 2, context plus goal plus constraint. Template 3, iteration, follow up. Okay, save these. Build your prompt library around them. These 3 alone will improve 80% of your AI results immediately. I gave you a diamond. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. All right. There you have it. 7 common mistakes people make when using AI and the exact fix for each one. I want you to do one thing right now. Pick one mistake from this list that we just went over, just one, and try to fix on your very next prompt. Okay? Then I want you to come back and drop a comment below and tell me what changed. And I do want to hear from you. I sincerely want to hear from you. If this video was helpful, hit that like button. All right. It tells YouTube that this content is worth putting in front of more people. And if you're not subscribed yet, this is your sign. Every week, I bring you real tools, real strategies, and real talk about how to use AI to work smarter, not harder. I'm Nicole, author, AI consultant, yes, and your resource on Resource Rundown. I'll see you in the next one.